Hey, what's going on guys? Joe here from JPRC, and today we're gonna talk about the Losi 110 scale Baja trophy truck. Now they call this as the Baja Rey trophy truck. On the surface, it looks like it's a complete scale trophy truck package, and it's something from Losi that you have never seen before. This is a brand new platform. It is directly targeted to the Axial Score trophy truck. From a look, from a scale feature perspective, the Losi truck here definitely beats the Score in every single aspect. From its performance, from its electronics, from its specs on the paper. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit more in depth. I want to talk about the certain issues that I see with this car on the skin based on the pictures that we have seen so far. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this car just based on the way it looks with the 4-piece body and everything else, and I actually have placed an order for this car already. But I wanted to go into a little bit more in detail, and before we get in there, I just want to give you a quick overview of what it comes with. Now, let's look at the picture up front. It has a full cage with the full detail interior, a full roll cage both from the front to the end, and it has adjustable coil-over long travel suspension all around. It also has a much more powerful ESC. This is 160M ESC compared to the 80M ESC in the Axial Score. And more importantly, it has a cooling fan in the middle center console, which is really cool. The spare tire is sitting in the back. It's also very nice and scale looking. I think one of the most interesting factor in here is the 4-piece plastic body. It is just like the real scale trophy truck. So if you were like, bashing the body really hard, I think the 4-piece body will actually make it a lot more durable, because as you can see here, every single panel is actually bolted onto the chassis, which is, extra scale. I have never seen anything on the market like that. So moving on a little bit more in the details, right? As you can see the front double A-arms right there, it actually has the double A-arm both in the bottom and the upper A-arms. It looks very scale, awesome looking. However, there's a downside to this. It is that you don't get any of the camber adjustment up front or in the back. Obviously, in the back, it's gonna be the solid axle. But the camber link up front, it's fixed. You can't really change it. And then moving on, it also comes with these, scale-looking Mach disc brake that it actually has a little red caliper, and that's gonna add like 4 horsepower per corner. Pretty cool. So in the rear end, everything is kind of all plastic, similar to the train hammer that they have. The body appears to be all plastic with a aluminum shock cap, and then it also has this the scale cooling fan in here. I'm not sure if that's a real cooling fan, but on the skin it looks like just a molded plastic mold for the cooling fan. But definitely a really cool looking features there. Now moving on, here's the first problem I noticed. This is the battery tray. You can see the battery tray, it fits kind of a standard 2-cell pack in there. The battery size does not seems to be adjustable, so that's gonna cause a problem for personally myself, because I have battery that comes in different sizes, and usually I would stick with an adjustable battery tray that I can adjust different battery type. And then second to that is the connector. It comes with the Horizon Hobby signature EC3 connector, and it seems that the connector is connected into the chassis, part of the roll cage, and that eventually will get cable routed out to the ESC. Now the problem here is this is not my standard connector. I use Traxxas connector for all of my cars. So personally, for me, it's gonna be a problem, but I believe many of you guys out there are also running different connectors. It's not that you cannot put a different connector onto the chassis here, but it's gonna be extra part hanging out in the part right next to the drive shaft. It kind of worried me a little bit because you have, you may have extra length on your battery, and including your balance plug, because I don't see a balance plug on this battery here, but there'll be a balance plug that you're gonna have to be concerned about, because it's gonna be hanging right next to the drive shaft. If it gets caught in any rocks or gets caught with the drive shaft, it'll be like yum, your cable is gonna be gone, and then your battery is gonna be gone. So moving on, the second problem that I noticed is the transfer case right there. As you can see, it uses kind of a different design on the transfer case gearbox. Obviously, it's not a traditional spur gear, and they're using Mod 1 gear, so it's all metal, so I assume that it's gonna be pretty loud. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, it's gonna be angry sounding, but that's not the problem. The problem I see on this one here is the spur gear. Notice the motor mount in here doesn't have a sliding slot, so I don't really how you're gonna be able to make adjustment on the gear mesh easily. unless they provide fixed size combinations of pinion gear and spur gear options. In fact, this is not even a spur gear. It's kind of like a dual gear setup that has a bigger spur and then with a gear reduction to another one that goes into the center transfer case. So anyway, that's one of the problem. Adjusting the gear mesh, it's gonna be a concern for me. And then the second problem with that is one of the bigger concerns that I have, and that is because they have this bottom loading motor mount that goes from the bottom with a cover that is all metal. And on the picture right here, I do not see any of sealing material like silicone. And based on this design, it's just a metal plate that plugs right into the bottom. And from there, it concerns me because it seems like it's an enclosed area, but it's not fully sealed compartment. And as you can see from here, if there's any dirt or sand that gets inside the gearbox from the bottom cover, it will directly be fed into the gearbox and transfer case. If it was an all open transfer case, it will worry me less because in this enclosed design, the sand and dirt is gonna go into your gearbox, and then your gear is gonna be like yum yum chewing on the dirt and sand. It's gonna cause a lot of damage internally, especially based on the picture here. They're all greased up, so it's gonna attract a lot of dirt in there, and without a completely sealed compartment, I worry that it's gonna have a problem with durability. But who knows? These are just pictures that I'm seeing so far. And other than that, you know, we really have to wait and see how the car will go when it finally gets onto our hand. I really cannot wait to show you guys, you know, what is the difference between this one and the Axial Score. And most definitely, we're gonna be putting them head to head on the track and on the bash event, and also do some off-road scale video with the both and see how they compare. So with that, guys, I will see you guys next time. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll see ya.